Hello, everyone. Do not be afraid. This is Dr. Homicide. Wait, Dr. Homicide coming at you. Welcome to Rewatchers Council. All right. I was gonna put on the mask, but I have to be able to see, and I can't do that with the mask on. Damn it. But I'm glad to be here. Glad to be joined by our good pal Brennan Moore. Brennan, how are you?
Good. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you, sir. And of course, uh, Councilman at Large, Brendan Marr. And his seat is always warm and welcome for him to join us. Now, big episode today, Brennan.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was telling Ferris before, the last two episodes, Homecoming and Band Candy, maybe my two favorite back-to-back episodes in the series. I'm trying to think there's a couple in season 6 that are really good together. The second half being Tabula Rasa, just so you know. But we'll get into this one because, it's fun. This is just an incredibly fun episode. Band Candy. Its original air date, Brennan, November 10th, 1998.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's not on like Ferris's birthday, which was like the last episode. Homecoming was basically 2 days after he was born or whatever that episode came out, which was crazy. Written by Jane Espenson, Brennan.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first of her 23 episodes that she'll write. And as you know, she also becomes a producer at basically every level going forward in the series, as well as continuing on with like the comics afterwards and with books and stuff like that afterwards as well. Of course, not the only stuff that she was known for. It goes on to do stuff for the OC, Gattaca, Battlestar Galactica. I think she was, Battlestar Galactica. I think she was the showrunner for Caprica.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember right. Never watched it though. I could only watch like the first season or two of Battlestar Galactica 2, and all of a sudden everyone's just, well, I don't want to spoil it. But anyways, yeah, she's done a lot of good stuff afterwards as well. Directed by Michael Lang. The last episode he did was Surprise.
Oh, interesting.
There you go. I would say two very different episodes, but of course, some good stuff happening in both those episodes. Now, number one movie that week, Brennan. The Water Boy.
Oh my goodness.
The
Wow.
Water Boy. My mama said, my mama said, so good.
Yes.
The number one song, The First Night, Monica, huge hit, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Number one song in the UK, Still Believe by Cher. I can't believe it wasn't number one in America at this time. How about that? You see how I tied like a point? And the number one song in Canada, Sweetest Thing by U2.
Oh my goodness.
Not a huge U2 fan, Brennan. Couple of songs. I saw them in concert. They were fun.
Yeah.
That?
Oh yeah.
Not a huge fan though. All right. DVD synopsis time. Sunnydale's adult population begins acting like immature teenagers after eating candy bars being sold to finance new high school band uniforms.
So they say.
Well, the synopsis says, right? Now, of course, again, it's a classic episode. It's a terrific Giles episode, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's a terrific Joyce episode.
It really is.
But it's also, it's a fantastic Snyder episode. Yes. Yeah, when you think of Principal Snyder, this is the one that immediately goes into my head, of course. There's also Graduation Day Part 2, but whatever. We'll talk about that later. Now, episode starts with Giles prepping Buffy about the SATs.
Yes.
I don't think we have SATs here in Canada. So I never
I
never had to really do anything about it. I would have had to maybe attend school.
I did okay on my SATs. I did okay.
You did okay? Yeah, when I hear it's like, what are the good numbers? Like 1,400? Is that what they say?
Well,
Really?
that's like a perfect score.
Oh, there you go.
I certainly didn't get that.
I'd be happy with a 750 or something like that. Like
That's
not,
about what I got, I think.
a D minus. I'd be happy with it. Anyways, yeah, she's nervous about these SATs. Not so nervous that she can't just trounce a random vamp that walks up. You know what I mean? No problem with that. Then we get to see the mayor meeting with good old Mr. Trick. And it turns out
Mr.
here,
Trick.
yes, it turns out the mayor has a plan, and Trick knows just the guy to get it done. He's familiar with the town, after all. Brennan.
A certain troublemaker we all like.
Yeah, one of my favorites. Now, there's a demon that needs its tribute, and the mayor keeps his campaign promises, which is a nice change. It's a nice change, isn't it?
That's an honest politician. Okay.
Yeah, he's sure. He's as honest as they come. And at the school, now, I don't know if you found this odd or not. I did. They have a Go Razorbacks banner outside the school in the quad, but it's blue. Like their colors are whatever it is, maroon and gold or whatever it is, right? Or red and gold or whatever, crimson and gold, whatever they want to call it. Yeah, I just thought that the blue banner just didn't make any sense to me. Anyways, by the way, probably my only critique of the episode. It's so minuscule. Buffy has some test nightmares. Willow's bragging about Oz's scores, of course. You know, he does test well. He said that before. Cordy's looking forward to the SAT. She does well in standardized tests. Brennan.
Interesting, yes.
Yeah, she has layers. I think she can have layers, isn't that what she said? Something like that. Anyways, Buffy needs to go spend some time with her mom, so she can't hang out with Willow. Her mom's gonna blame her every episode for running away at some point, so gotta make sure that she, checks in. Snyder's now. Go ahead.
Trips.
Yeah, there's a guilt trip. Always a guilt trip. Joyce. Could have been her nickname in high school. We never find out what her nickname in high school is, but anyways, I don't think it would be guilt trip. Snyder's in the cafeteria now. There's dozens and dozens of milk bar chocolate bars in there, Brennan. They're only referred to as candy. They're only referred to as candy bars. Now, I think that's an exclusive, almost American thing. They call chocolate bars candy bars, right? They just
Sometimes, yes.
Candy.
Sometimes, yes.
I think everyone else just differentiates candy and chocolate. I don't know. Anyways, volunteers to Scoobs and also the rest of the student body to go sell these candy bars so that the high school band can get new uniforms. Buffy tells them that she isn't even in the band. Great line from Snyder here, and it says, well, if I handed you a trombone, that would be a problem. It's candy. Go sell it. All right. She goes home. She tries to talk Joyce into buying 40 of these things. Joyce, the master negotiator, gets her down to 20, which is probably fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Buffy wanted her to hand them out with the artwork, for goodness sakes. A milk bar. Well, I think a lot of people were handing out these chocolate bars, you would imagine, at some point in this episode. Buffy asks about getting her license once again, Brennan. Yeah, Joyce says nope. I think Joyce has a point. We'll talk. Well, I don't even know the guilt trip. I think she just knows. Maybe someone isn't ready to be a driver yet.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah, so because not only did Buffy not pass the written before, she doesn't want Buffy to take off again. There we go. Guilt trip. Guilt trip within the first 3 scenes of the show. So there you go. Now, Buffy tries a little levity, saying she could just hop on the bus again. Not great, and wasn't well thought out this time. So Buffy says she has to go. She has to go train with Giles. Once again, Joyce says, that Buffy is spending too much with Joyce or with Giles. All right. Let's put a cap on that or a pin on that.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy
where
is
this is
spending.
going.
Yeah, Buffy's spending too much time with Giles. So we go to the library. Now we find out that Giles has bought the other 20 candy bars that Buffy wanted sold, and then sets up a scenario where Buffy has to hit him with a ball while blindfolded. He thinks he's pretty smart. He walks away. She's turned the other way. She bounces it off the wall and clubs him in the head with it. So there you go.
Very clever.
Yeah, very good. Just like a Jedi. That's a Jedi thing to do, isn't it? Something like that. She tells him that she needs to go see her mother. Her mother wanted her home and stuff like that. But she ends up going to the Crawford Street mansion. Brennan.
Oh, yes.
She playing them off each other. So she's watching Angel do Tai Chi.
We're getting a very Twilight moment in that it's
Yeah, I thought it was just disturbing her watching him do Tai Chi. Why would Angel be doing Tai Chi? Doesn't make any sense to me. Anyways, he's starting to feel better at least. He is he's trying to be her friend, asking how Scott's doing. Buffy has to try and remember that she told him about Scott, and then lies and says that he's doing fine. Or maybe it's not a lie, but in context, she would like. They each say they worry about each other, which is nice of them. Buffy gives them some fresh and delicious butcher blood here. Brennan. That's something you do. You go see your friend with a nice 1 liter of blood. Not the greatest. Anyways, then she has to go home. She sees her mom there. And also Rupert Giles. So her little gig is up here. And they also called Willow's place, and Willow didn't know where she was either. So that's not great. What was that game they were calling it was it at the end of the second season? I think it's Red Rover. That's one where
something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Her little game of Red Rover.
I used to play
that. Giles and Joyce are now putting up a united front. While sharing one of those chocolate bars that Buffy got for them.
They certainly like their chocolate.
Yeah, Buffy lies again and says that she was at the Bronze and starts to push back at them, saying she needs them to back off a little, which I can understand. She isn't. I don't think she's going too far by saying, back off a little bit here, guys. But she can sense that something's up. Something's not feeling right to Buffy here. She doesn't say anything. But afterwards, Giles says, let's just not freak out, which is something that Rupert Giles wouldn't say in a million years. She goes to bed. The grown-ups start talking on the couch again, but they open up another chocolate bar and start sharing it here, Brennan.
Yep.
Those nasty chocolate bars. We get to cut to the milk bar warehouse. The worker was warned against eating one of those dastardly bars by none other than Ethan Rayne. Ethan Rayne is back. My goodness. Oh my goodness. We didn't get a Halloween episode in this season, Brennan.
Darn.
But we do get Ethan Rayne pretty close to Halloween, so it feels right.
Yeah. Every time he shows up, I'm very happy.
Yes, of course. At study hall the next day, Giles is a no-show, which is peculiar. We learned that Cordy has created the acronym BX, the Before Xander acronym. Oh boy. And then we get those two cads in the back, Willow and Xander, playing footsie with each other.
Oh, yes.
Within sight of each other's significant other. Ridiculous. We get to see Snyder go and tell Mrs. Barton that she has to go watch study hall because the pinhead librarian didn't show up and he doesn't want to do it. You know what I mean? Also, it's not fair he has to do everything just because he's the principal. I agree. Miss Barton says as soon as Snyder goes in, she says she'll do it. She goes in and says as soon as Snyder's gone, they're all out of there. So there you go. Buffy would automatically love this teacher, and it's a good thing she doesn't say so. As soon as she ever says she likes a teacher, and that teacher's a goner, as we all know.
Usually.
Buffy goes to Giles to check up on him, finds him there with her mother.
Yep.
Yeah, they say it's a summit meeting here, and that they've worked out a coordinated schedule. And Joyce tells her she and Giles have more to talk about so she can take the Jeep home. Which, if we remember just from 5 minutes ago, was a ridiculous thing, again, for her to say.
Mm-hmm.
But Buffy isn't going to ask too many questions. She takes the keys. She takes off. Giles lights up a smoke. Joyce grabs the booze. Here, Brennan.
Yep. As they're listening to old albums.
Yeah, that's coming up in a minute. Buffy starts terrorizing Willow behind the wheel. They're off to the Bronze to study, of course. Now we see Joyce and Giles listening to the tale of brave Ulysses, Brennan.
Yes.
By Cream, that's off of Disraeli Gears. Now, it won't be the last time he listens to that song in this series, will it? We'll talk about that in a while. Now, Joyce asked if he likes Seals and Croft. You know who Seals and Croft is?
I don't actually know.
They sing Diamond Girl and Summer Breeze. They're a staple of AM Gold kind of stuff, yacht rock. Very much not Queen or not Cream, not at all. So he gives her a dirty look for this, as someone who just put on Cream may have done. And he says, and then she tries to take it all back and goes, "Oh, I don't either." You know what I mean? And he hands her a smoke. They're all smoking in there. And she asks why they call him Ripper. He says, "Wouldn't you like to know?" What an attitude. That Ripper has an attitude.
The old Giles attitude.
Yeah, you don't like it. I thought that's why she asked the question, though. It's like, yeah, she asked a question, and wouldn't you like to know? That's why she asked it. I don't understand that. Anyways, they decide they're going to go head out. They doesn't want to go to the Bronze. The Bronze is dead. Except the Bronze tonight is packed with what's a nice way to say it? A more mature clientele.
Yes, all the adults.
Yeah, they're not just getting minors hammered anymore. They're actually getting grown-ups hammered as well, which is nice of them. You know what I mean? They all seem to be really into Dingo's Ate My Baby, which is, good for them. Maybe they should have sold merch.
Oz is happy about it.
Yeah, well, Devin, too. He was like, Devin couldn't believe it. Will and Buffy are a little freaked out by this. Will thinks maybe there's a Billy Joel show in town tonight, which I really enjoyed. They get to see Ms. Barton. Ms. Barton's absolutely wasted. Now, I guess I should say that Ms. Barton was played by Peggy Stewart.
Yes.
She was in movies. She goes all the way back to like Wells Fargo in 1937. But she was also in things like The Office and Community. Nice. Of course, Ferris's favorite NCIS. So anyways, Principal Snyder's also there at the Bronx. He wants them to call him Snyder, like Barbarino. All right.
A nice Welcome Back Kotter reference.
I liked it. And as soon as he said it, I'd still go like, "Up your nose with the rubber hose." Oh, so good. I loved that show when I was a kid. That and WKRP. Anyways, he is pretty stoked to be at the Bronze with all the kids and the adults, I guess. Willow's worried about the folks having heart attacks, then watches as her doctor strips half naked to do a stage dive off the stage into no one. But turns out he's okay because he's up there singing Louie Louie later anyways. Yeah, Buffy has deciphered that all of the adults are starting to act like teenagers. They're turning into them, Brennan. I don't remember ever acting like that. I can tell you that.
I certainly didn't.
I was probably worse. So, Ethan and Trick are now talking. There's a lot of chocolate bars in this warehouse, considering they only want to do this for, a day? 2 days? There's a lot of chocolate bars around. I guess it could have uses further down the road if they really wanted to. So there you go. Trick thinks a worker may have sampled one, so he snaps his neck. Stabs his neck just as a warning to others, right? No one
Yep,
person reacts. Nobody reacts to this.
it's true.
Those are just regular people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. That was one thing I did not understand with this episode. Now, you would imagine someone should have yelped or something like that. Anyways, back to the bronze. Snyder's complimenting Oz's hair, which is fun. Then the camera pans out of the stage, and then older couples start kissing. And I found that incredibly uncomfortable. I don't know why.
Okay.
I didn't like it. Anyways, fights start breaking out at the bronze. Buffy, Willow, and Oz decide to get to the bottom of this. They're going to do some Scoobying. You know what I mean? Buffy notices that a couple are sharing a milk bar while playing pinball. And as they leave, Snyder, of course, follows along. And they all get into Joyce's Jeep. They drive off. Snyder tells Buffy she drives like a spaz, which is fun. Which is fun. Because I hadn't heard the word spaz in a long time, so it made me smile. Anyways, we see a couple of guys. It's fantastic. Maybe we should try and bring it back. Let's bring that song. Let's bring that word back. Spaz. Okay. Spaz. We see a couple of guys eating chocolate bars and trying to race their Volvos here. Some folks start playing grab ass in the playground. Oz says even if Giles is 16, he should still be put together. He's imagining Giles was the exact same person when he was 16. And then Willow had to tell him about who Ripper was. You know, hated society, tried to bring demons to life. But anyways, we get to see Giles and Joyce act very coupley here.
Yeah.
Arm around each other, holding hands. Walking around, downtown Sunnydale. Joyce finds a Juice Newton-ish jacket in a window. So Ripper busts it with a garbage can, gives it to her, and takes the matching hat that came with it. Now, I remember Juice Newton. Juice Newton is a very nice person. The Queen of Hearts, some may say. The Angel of the Morning, some may say as well. I don't ever remember her wearing a jacket like that, but whatever. It's fun. So he puts the hat on. They start walking away, but Brennan, cops there. Yep. Cops there, pull a gun on him, tells him to freeze. Oh boy. Meanwhile, a driver is seen opening up a new chocolate bar while Buffy is driving the Jeep. Someone's not paying attention. The Jeep gets T-boned. And I tried to look. I stopped it, and it was just to look. There's no stop signs anywhere. So I'm imagining there would have been traffic lights at some point, but you don't ever see them. I thought it was very strange that there wasn't.
Sunnydale is a very strange town.
That's true. It's every turn is like every corner is like a suicide corner. It's like you never know. It's just whoever's first gets to go. You know what I mean? True. Yeah. Anyways. We go back to the smash and grab, and Ripper knocks the cop out and takes his gun, which I thought was interesting. Joyce thinks he's so cool, Brennan. Just like Burt Reynolds. Yeah, so Joyce is very much a 70s teenager.
And then they get rather amorous.
They get a little amorous. On that cop car. Yikes. That poor guy's just sawing logs that front. At least Ripper didn't do too much to him. Anyways, go back to the Jeep. Luckily, everyone's okay. And the other driver just runs off, which is, gotta show proof of insurance and stuff like that. Now that guy's 100% at fault. But we'll talk about that when we get there. Now, there's quite a bit of damage to the Jeep. In the rear quarter panel, driver's side quarter panel, a bit of the door. Actually, it doesn't look too bad later on. When you see it, it's like, maybe that can just get set down. Yeah. Everyone starts, they notice that everyone's just wandering around here. and that nobody's home. They're wondering why haven't the vampires started attacking yet? It says Oz says something's happening. Something's happening that's pretty big or whatever, right? And Buffy realizes this must be the milk bars. They're all cursed.
Curse.
Yeah, Buffy pushes Snyder to tell her where the chocolate's coming from. She'll get him to take him there. She tells Willow and Oz to get Xander and Cordy and head to the library to look up candy curses. Good luck with that.
On the 80s, I mean, you believe the urban legends.
Yeah, that's true. Buffy and Snyder get to the warehouse. There's a chocolate-thirsty mob out front.
Oh, my.
Yeah, these guys should have charged more for these bars. Anyways, there's just a couple guys throwing bars at them from the doors. But also Joyce and Giles just making out in the street, like in the back alley here.
Even with Buffy standing next to them.
Yeah, she walks by them at first and then obviously stops. Giles tells her to back off, which is fun. Buffy, let's say, reasons with them that fighting her wouldn't be all that smart. She tells her mother to go home. Joyce tells her to screw herself because she wants candy.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Buffy tries to snap her out of it by saying there's all this damage to the Jeep. And Joyce is, of course, horrified by this. Horrified that she bought such a geek machine, Brennan.
Indeed.
It's a Jeep Cherokee. Would that be considered a Jeep machine then? Well, maybe.
I
I'd imagine like a minivan, I think, would have been the way. But anyways, and then Ripper tells her that he's her watcher, so she should saw it off.
Mm-hmm.
Which is awesome. Buffy just goes to the door, beats up the two workers, no problem. They're just human beings. Then changes her mom and brings her mom inside the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand that part. It was like, you told her to go home.
Yeah.
Why not just, well, you're going to come with me kind of thing. So Giles and Snyder also follow her in. Inside, where are all the workers? There's all this chocolate. There's nobody there anymore unless they thought everybody was, sampling. So they just snapped everybody's necks or something like that. But you don't see any bodies. Anyways, one person you do see, Ethan Rayne. He stayed behind. He's on the phone telling someone that the town's wide open and they can go at any time. And then he sees his old childhood friend, Giles and Buffy, and tells the person on the phone to hurry and tries to run away. As he always done. It's so fun. I like how he's such a coward.
Indeed.
Yeah. At the library, Cordelia's complaining about her mom wearing her clothes. And then tells Willow her dad locked himself in the bathroom with old Esquire magazines.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Well, retro ties. That's what I'm thinking. He wants to check out the retro suits. Xander catches himself as he says that the candy's supposed to make you feel more immature, but he doesn't feel any different. I wonder why. He then hands Willow a book. They have this slight thumb touch or finger touch thing.
Oh, yes.
The romantic music playing for this. Gross. There's of course, the awkwardness again. Cordy does the swapping partners joke and stuff like that. And then we get to see Willow looking guilty again. I said it on the last episode. My least favorite storyline they ever did in this show is this. I still don't understand what they did. I understand why they had to do something because of what's going to happen at the end of the year. But yeah, I don't like the way they did. Anyways, we get to see Ethan running around the warehouse. Giles and Buffy are hot in pursuit right now. And then Ethan just seems to disappear. You know what I mean? He turns a corner and he's gone. Buffy has those abilities, though, to find people when she can't see them. And kicks a crate that somehow, mind you, Ethan Rayne managed to go up on the second shelf of a warehouse thing, close himself up in a crate, And then Buffy had got to break it open. This is all I'm imagining within seconds. They're
Yeah.
good on Ethan. Or Ethan's a magician just to do poor tricks. Maybe that's it. Anyways, so Snyder makes a pass at Joyce here. She just rolls her eyes and walks away. Ethan tells Buffy he's just a subcontractor, which is true. Trick is the one that she wants. He's helping him collect a tribute for a demon. Brennan. Giles insists she hit him. She asks which demon. Ethan says he doesn't remember which one, so she punches him. Giles is awful happy about this. We get to see like a jumping rejoice from Giles, which is nice. The punching works. Maybe that's she should have listened to her watcher from the beginning. Just punch the guy. It's always gonna work. So this demon's name is Lucronus. He also tells them that this tribute is so big, no one would ever let them have it. So people had to be absolutely out of it. And that they'd blame themselves for it afterwards, which isn't nice. And then Buffy threatens to hit him again and ask him what the tribute is. So this is when we cut to the local maternity ward, Brennan. Everybody's candied up. We get to see 4 vampires enter. 4 vampires, let's say, of varying sizes. Because the first 2, the one looks very tall. And the other one incredibly short. It looked like if Jonathan was a vampire. You know what I mean? Jonathan next to Angel. Anyways, they walk in, they grab 4 newborns and walk out. Nobody stops them. Nobody at all.
Nope.
Bunch of jerks. Buffy calls Will to look up Lucronus. Snyder makes fun of Ethan for getting beaten up. You know what I mean? Then demonstrates that he learned Taekwondo at the Y. Now, he breaks the 4th wall by doing this. And I'm sure you see Christine Sutherland breaking when it cuts to her. I'm sure like when you see just when he does his last little and he's at the camera and he's looking at it, it turns around, you see him looking at her. She's breaking in that instant. I don't think that was that wasn't a character choice at all. Anyways, now she even blows a bubble afterwards, so whatever. Ethan knows it's a crowbar for some reason on the desk where Buffy has been calling Willow. He's gonna go grab it and hit her over the head, but Giles has pulled that gun on him. So of course he stops, and then Buffy punches him. So yeah, she takes that, but she takes the gun from Giles. He gets back on the phone with Willow. He's told that every 30 years, Lucronus needs a ritual feeding of yummy, delicious babies, Brennan. So would you like, I'm just going to put this out there. Do you think that fat bastard could be Lucronus?
Yeah.
He wants to eat your babies. He says it all the time. Anyways, Buffy grabs her mom, tells her that tell them to tie Ethan up with something. And Joyce pulls out some handcuffs, and that is uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah, not great. So for some reason, they go to the hospital. They see that the newborns have already been taken. Snyder's against baby eating, which is a relief. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, you'd want your local high school principal to be against baby eating at all costs, and I don't care what people say. Now, Buffy tells Giles that she knows who took them. He suggests they go kick the crap out of them, but Buffy doesn't know where they are. Then Giles just blurts out, "Lucronus dwells beneath the city, filth to filth." So I guess they haven't had a chocolate bar in a while. Things are starting to. The fog is starting to lift maybe a little bit in Giles here. He remembers that Lucronus even means glutton, which is unfortunate, and they'll find it in the sewers, which not great. Well, Buffy knows her way in through the sewers. That's already been proven. Snyder offers to stay behind in case the babies come back, which is awesome. Giles, I'll say, is a little pissed off, by this, but whatever.
A little.
Asks if he's afraid of a little demon. Like, I'm not. I can't speak for you, Brandon, but I would say, yeah. Like, yeah, I would say 100% I am. But knowing what we know about Snyder, I don't know why he would do that. Snyder says you're the one that wants to splash around in the poo, which is also, a great line. Yeah, it's not something that I'm sure that Giles would want on his tombstone, but it's a true statement nonetheless. Buffy breaks this fight up, tells him that she needs grown-ups. Giles and Joyce apologize. She just tells Snyder to get out of there. Tells Giles that they're going to go to the sewers and that he and Joyce have to stop canoodling. I said canoodling because it was an excuse to say that word. I like that word. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? At the sewers, we get to see the 4 baby nappers once again. This time they have ritual robes on, which is never great. They start anointing the babies with some kind of oil, maybe or just some kind of water. Trick and the mayor just hanging out. The mayor's getting some business done here. He wants some some people to come in for some infrastructure and ventilation work in the sewers, which is nice. He's thinking about the city, which is good. He's a hands-on mayor, if nothing else. Buffy and Giles now show up. Here comes the vampires to attack them. The mayor skedaddles. Like, as soon as there's trouble, he's like, all right, I'm out of here. For some reason, Joyce had followed them down there and starts pushing the babies away. There's a couple of Buffy season 1 stakes here. And when I say that, she's fighting a couple of the vampires. It doesn't seem to matter where she stakes them, because one gets like staked here and one in like the stomach. And as long as I guess these vampires got staked, they're going to explode. But I'm pretty sure you had to get them in the heart before. I think in season 1 we said that the vampire's heart must be this big, like a beach ball or something like that. Anyways, she kicks the third one into this small little pool, which is never a good thing to have in a sewer. You know what I mean? She kicks this thing into a small pool in front of a tunnel. There's a rumbling noise. And then a large serpent demon eats that vampire in one bite. Now, I don't know what's with this town and, snake demons, but this is going to be, this is the second snake demon so far. Maybe there's going to be another one. I know that they used this one as kind of a test for something that may happen later. I think they were happy with this one. And you also have to remember, this is 1998, so what are we going to do about it? Anyways, on to the story. Now, Trick decides that he wants to square up with Buffy now, which is fun. But Giles steps in and probably gets thrown into that pool. Into the poo pool, which isn't cool. Anyways, when Ludacris comes this time, Buffy has the wherewithal to snap a gas line, light it with one of those torches they had burning, and prepares a little barbecued snake demon. That snake went on fire quick, which is lucky. It's lucky that I guess it certainly did. It's outside. It's made of gasoline or something like that. So Trick, of course, has to make sure to tell Buffy that he'll see her again, as he's already up the manhole and running away. She always wonders why they have to say goodbye and stuff like that. So Joyce wants to go home now. The babies are safe. She offers to write Buffy a note to get out of the SATs. Buffy says it's okay, which, again, I'm surprised by it. I would think for sure Buffy would just say, yeah, sure. But also, how are people just going to go back to work the next day and like, we're going to test you guys? Like, we've all seen what you guys have been doing. Anyways, we get to see Trick now in the mayor's office, giving him the rundown on what's happened. He paid Ethan because he's a good man, that Trick. I've said it before, Trick is one of my favorite vampires they've ever put on their show. And it shows Trick that the upside of not having Lacronus as a tribute anymore is you don't have Lacronus as a tribute anymore. So he did him a favor. You know what I mean? Mayor agrees and warns them to be careful of how many favors he does for him. And I always love when the mayor gets ominous.
Mm-hmm.
So fun. We get this last scene now. It's at the school. Snyder, for some reason, has the Scoobies clean up the graffiti.
Mm.
What did they do for this? Now, Buffy's concerned about her scores in the test. Also, before I say that, the graffiti says "Kiss Rocks."
Mm-hmm.
Buffy, of course, at first didn't get it, and then says, "Oh, okay." You think "Kiss Rocks," Brennan?
I haven't listened to enough of the music.
Yeah, I would say not since 1978. But anyways, Buffy's concerned about her SAT scores, but she's hoping to be dead before applying to college anyways, which is a good way to look at it. If you ask me. Joyce shows up. Her and Giles have an awkward hello. We find out that Buffy has to pay for the car damage. What is going on here? How could, the other guy ran away. He's 100% now at fault.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous. Anyways, Buffy's just glad that she got to them before they actually did anything, Brennan. We get another little awkward moment and a quick goodbye from the two of them. And that's the end of Band Candy, an absolute classic episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, next time, a new watcher comes to town. Brennan. Faith becoming a new watcher here. And I guess some secrets come to light. So I guess it's a good thing. The episode's called Revelations, Brennan. And I want to thank you so much for joining me here on Rewatchers Council.
Thank you for having me.
For taking your seat on the council, that is, Brennan.
Indeed.
Please tell everybody where they could also find you when you're not here on the show with us.
You can find me on X at Vernon Mystical. Threads and Instagram at Vernon Blue. YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. And page turners, they were not.
Awesome. Let's see. Fermi, LGRN, After Snark, Weekends with Danny. I'm not sure. I don't think we have an episode this weekend. We just had our last week. We had a prediction episode for Agatha All Along. I don't know if you've watched that, Brennan, but
I have not seen the finale yet. So
I watched the finale this afternoon. I was quite happy with it. I really loved the show. Of course, post credits for every episode came up as the episodes finished airing. You can watch all of those on Let's Get Ready Network. Over on LGRN, the highlights starting 11 Tuesdays. That's our English Premier League show I do with Adelia, sometimes co-council member. Ferris Muthana will also be on the show with us. I'm looking forward to this weekend's action. We'll talk all about it Tuesdays live. What would that be? 8 o'clock Eastern time? I'm trying to think of Eastern time zones here. The only one that really counts for me is Central, and that's 7 o'clock. And I know that one. What else we got? And I think that's about it. Of course, Rewatchers Council. Thursdays, 5 o'clock Central. That'd be 6 Eastern. Every single week. Well, mostly. Unless something comes up. We try to make it every week. But now doing it live is so much fun as well. And guys, thank you so much. We hope to see you next time. And happy Halloween. And as we would say in Canada, Halloween apples. Never really did trick or treat as a kid. You know that? It was Halloween apples. Anyways, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.